Many happy returns, viewers. It's another Monday, which means another game from our table to yours. Imagine that you work in a fantasy bead store, where adventurers from all over come to buy specially crafted charms to aid on their quests. Today, we're looking at just such a game, an abstract set collection game from Rick Hu and Brickhouse Games. Our provided review copy of Masters of Charms comes in anticipation of their upcoming Kickstarter, and we're going to tell you if this title is worth your bead store dollars. Let's open it up and dig in. Past the game's clean and simple cover art is the rulebook done in dark mode, which I love. The book is clear on how to play the game with few exceptions and has some very helpful examples throughout its 18 pages. Past that is the box insert with just a simple channel designed to hold everything. That includes the game's portal and load tiles, Mistagem, gnome meeples, and various gold and victory tokens. While there's nothing special about what you'll see here, how it all combines into an incredibly interesting table puzzle is very much the opposite. Let me set it up quick and I'll walk you through. The first thing you'll need to know is that you should ignore the game's theme, which is actually a shame because the art style is so compelling that the theme should be a standout. You and your fellow players are represented on the table by these tiny wooden gnome meeples, and you're going to be diving into the load, this 5x5, thank you Faith, array of cards here in an attempt to gather gems which you will combine into charms that you can sell to, quote, brave adventurers going off on dangerous quests. I mentioned in the intro that you're basically working in a bead shop, and while one member of my game group actually did this for a living when I first met her, I'm not sure she'd actually recommend it. However, past that, there's actually some solid gameplay to be had here. The load starts out in this grid with a void in the middle, and each space is a stack of 3 tiles. These are primarily charms in some combination of 5 different color and shape combinations paired with a value from 1 to 5. There are exactly 3 matching cards of every possible denomination, which will become important in a second. On your first turn of the game, you'll drop your gnome onto any edge space not already taken by another player, and then use one of the 7 portal cards in your hand to drill further into the mine. Now these portal cards all have some combination of strength and drift, which gives you access to additional spaces in the load. Playing a portal will give you that card's strength as total movement, and the drift marks allow you to turn in any direction. So if I enter the load here and then play this 3 strength portal with a single drift, I can move up to 3 spaces away, turning only 1 time. Before leaving the space I'm on, I drop the portal card underneath me and poop out a single little Mistagem, some kind of artifact of using a portal to burrow through the rock. These Mistagems are valuable to you because reasons, and collecting 8 of them will give you 1 victory point. That's the only use of the gems in the game. They aren't used as currency in any other fashion. Once I decide on my move, in this case forward once, turning left, and then forward again, forward once, turning left and forward again, I leave it and take the gemstone that's there. As the game progresses, you're going to encounter other players' portal cards, and moving on to them means that you collect their previously pooped acrylic and continue your travels using that portal as if it were your own. You would remove the portal card, revealing the tile underneath, and continue your trip to another tile. Chaining moves in this fashion from one portal to another feels great, and collecting 4 or 5 Mistagems in a turn is not unheard of. Ultimately though, your goal is collecting sets of 3 gemstones to craft charms. Each charm must follow certain rules. Adventurers won't buy just any trinket you happen to cobble together. The good ones will have either all the same shape and number or all different shapes and numbers. To make that a little clearer, if any charm ever has 2 of the same aspect, either color or number, and not 3, it's not valid. Still confused? It's actually pretty simple. Here are the ones you'll be looking for. This charm has 3 different gemstones, all with different shapes and numbers. These are the easiest to make and will only net you 5 gold. Slightly harder to craft are these, with all the same shape but different numbers. These get you 20 gold. The master charm is this one, with all the same shape and all the same number and worth 45 gold. Keep in mind, there are only 3 tiles of every combination in the game, so if your opponent nabs one you're looking for, give up on it. You won't find another. Once someone is unable to complete the requisite 2 actions on their turn, the game immediately ends and you'll total up points from crafted charms, collected Mistagems and gold, and finally, your mastery cards. If you didn't sell your charms before the game ends, you're out of luck. Only crafted gems count. So, let's start with the bad news. The mastery cards are woefully unbalanced in the game I have. There are some in the box, and while some provide between 4 and 8 points in a standard game, one of them reliably provides at least 15, and in one game we played as many as 36. Worst of all, that card scores points based on how many empty spaces there are in the load by game's end, meaning that everyone's contributing to that player's points simply by playing the game. It ruined one of our games so badly that I took it out of rotation for future tests. It's just poorly designed. Now, while that's certainly a problem, most of my issues with Masters of Charms fall into the category of small issues that add up to a frustrating experience. There's no included active player marker, and the board state changes based on the player before you acting, which means you can't really plan your turn completely beforehand. This leads to a player's turn taking maybe a couple minutes as they suss out what to do now that their plan was ruined, and it can be hard to keep track of whose turn it is. Additionally, there aren't any player boards, so in a 4-player game, it can be hard to remember who's blue and who's red. In providing this feedback to the designer, he was very receptive, so I can imagine that these things will be cleaned up before you see this game on your table, but it's worth mentioning. These issues aside, there's some great stuff to be had here. The portal hopping, as I mentioned before, feels so amazing as you slide around like Jerry O'Connell, nabbing cubes and trying to edge out your opponents, and gem hunting is slick while feeling relevant. The set collection gameplay sitting at the center of this game is nicely done, and digging through a mine trying to unearth the exact gem you need feels both risky and rewarding. The art style is a huge hit as well, with clean lines and a great table presence. While I'm hoping for a tiny bit better physical experience from the final game, what's here is certainly worth a look if set collection is your thing. And honestly, it should be. Who doesn't like collecting sets? Masters of Charms is a very solid premise, and with some tweaks could be a serious contender for your table time. Let's have a look through our checklist before I give you my final recommendations. In the box, rulebook clear and non-gender pronouns. The rulebook I have is not the final version, and we provided feedback to make it even clearer to you when you get it. That said, we were able to learn the idea behind the game fairly easily, and with some editing, it should serve as a very fine guide. It opts for second-person pronouns, speaking directly to the player and avoiding any gender issues. Iconography clear. Each of the game's 5 stone colors also has differing shapes, which aid colorblind players being able to easily distinguish all of them apart. The portal tiles are similarly clear and easy to understand. Very well done here. Packaging well done. While my pre-production copy was missing at least one baggie, I'd imagine this is resolved for the final version. The insert is a standard cardboard channel, which isn't outstanding, but is serviceable. On the table, good representation. No characters are presented in the game here, leaving representation up to the players. Component quality varies wildly. The load and portal tiles are thin and prone to sliding around the table with absolutely no interaction from the players. This will sort itself out as the sheen wears off with a couple of plays, but is still very annoying for your first couple games. The Mystagem cubes are good-sized acrylic, but the gold and victory tokens are standard punch. Wooden gnome meeples are cute, but slightly too small and light. Replay value. With the varied setup due to shuffling 72 cards into a grid, you're going to have a decent variety while playing this one. Also, the mastery cards, while currently horribly unbalanced, will provide new avenues of strategy across your games. Fun to lose. Fairly. Because the bulk of your points is going to come from your mastery cards, it's hard to know just how well everyone is actually doing. Crafting the 45 gold charms is obviously the goal, and making the 5 gold charms feels awful. The variance here is real and causes some major concerns early. We enjoyed the idea behind Masters of Charms, and most of my concerns are tiny things that get in the way of that overall experience. The set collection aspects feel great, and the puzzle of trying to maximize the use of your portals is even better. If the mastery cards get fixed and balanced, this becomes a strong recommend from us. I'm Nicholas, reminding you to help protect the game population. Always sleeve your cards. Hey everyone, if you enjoyed that video, please hit that sub button and check out all of our other offerings at goodluckhighfive.com. And please consider becoming a patron of the channel at patreon.com/GLHFmagic and help us keep making reviews, videos, and podcasts for as little as $5 a month. We're also always looking for new games to review, so if you make games or you know a company who does and wants to have their game reviewed on Good Luck High Five, please reach out to us at glhf@goodluckhighfive.com and we'd be happy to take take a look. You can follow me, Captain N the Game Master, on Twitter and Instagram at CaptainNGM, and follow the channel at GLHF Magic. Remember, please shop at your local game store whenever possible. Until next time, I'm Nicholas, and good luck. High five.